This is going to change entire communities, and in order for it to happen at the speed that it needs to, more people need to know about it. I'm Sam Walcott, and I am a senior here at Syracuse. I'm an earth science and environmental sustainability and policy major, and it is my second year at the lab.
My name is Cryan. I'm a Master's of Public Administration student at the Maxwell School, and I've been with the Dynamic Sustainability Lab for about 6 months now.
Offshore wind is just like onshore turbines, like the type of wind turbine that will generate electricity the same as natural gas, theoretically. But these ones are in the ocean, or actually there's going to be one in the Great Lakes.
The United States has a goal of generating 30 gigawatts of offshore wind power by 2030. And each state has set up their own goals for how they want to deploy offshore wind in their state waters. The United States right now lacks supply chain capacity to deploy offshore wind, and we're looking to find solutions to see how the United States can meet those goals.
So the offshore wind permitting process is how in the US you get actual turbines in the water. So at first you can say, okay, I want to purchase this area in the ocean, right? But in order to do that, you need to figure out exactly where the turbines are going to go, how many turbines you have, how the seabed is affected, how species in the water are affected, how local citizens are affected.
In looking at some of these supply chain shortcomings, we see that the United States doesn't have enough offshore wind turbine vessels to actually site and construct these offshore wind platforms. The United States also needs to address some of the regulations that it has with regard to siting permitting infrastructure in the country. Right now it takes about 7 to 10 years to bring an offshore wind project from start to completion, and that's not going to be fast enough if we want to meet our energy and natural resource goals.
The work that I do is more just analyzing the way things are going. So China developed more offshore wind in 2021 alone than the globe did. So there are countries that are able to figure out ways to move it along in a fashion that is still safe environmentally and doesn't harm the population. So I think that there's a lot of ways that we can improve as a country going forward with the ways that we do our permitting process, the way that we are growing our supply chain for offshore wind, which is what Chris is working on.
The United States and states along the eastern seaboard have started to go through the permitting approval process for offshore wind, and some of them should be undergoing construction shortly. One of the other exciting areas of offshore wind is the potential for the use of green steel. Now, green steel is steel manufactured through renewable energy generation sources. Currently, you generate about 6 to 9 grams of greenhouse gas emissions per kilowatt hour of electricity generated through an offshore wind project versus about 900 for a coal project. And you can drive that further down as you increase the efficiency and size of offshore wind turbines.
I think that right now our country has an awesome opportunity to bring in more jobs and bring in a really helpful type of renewable energies.